They're coming for the public sector jobs in America. And they have to. America's falling. America's turning into Amerifornia, wagons east, as America basically turns into California during the Biden selection. And we warned you guys about this multiple times, that the public sector is out of control and it's bankrupting the country probably more than any other war. Because when you start paying these federal employees or state employees or municipal or county employees six-figure incomes, and most of them have no idea what they're doing at their jobs, then you start to question the leadership, of course. And yes, so pay very close attention to this video, because this affects people living in America and Canada, both. Because the solution, I believe, will never come to Canada, because nobody has the cojones in Canada to bring this forward and fix the problem. So over the last 15 years, I've been warning you guys about the public employees across America costing taxpayers $1 trillion, Amerifornia path of destruction. And for years, that's a 5-year-old one. I found older ones. And Canada. Now pay attention to Canada. Canadian economy too dependent on public sector jobs. Nearly 9 out of 10 jobs created in 2021 were government jobs. That was 2 years ago. Pay attention. Canadian small business layoffs, more private sector destruction as public sector grows. And then, watch this. Government jobs destroying Canada by 2025, 60% public sector. By 2030, 80 to 85 public sector. Private versus public sector jobs. Canadian interest rates were raised on junk employment data 7 years ago. Fake Canadian job growth. Public sector does not count. So they're including public sector government jobs in the economy, when they are public sector jobs are basically leeching off the economy. Without the private sector, how are you going to fund this? This is our war on the channel. We've been fighting for so many years. Public sector versus private sector. Trying to make people understand what the situation is. Now let's head over to America. Now, kick in the teeth. I can't believe they said that. Disabled federal workers fear for their jobs after Trump remarks. Now, I brought this one up because, federal workers are on basically on the hook now. Kick in the teeth. I'm going to kind of boast a bit here again. And we did a Mike in the Night the other day. Why Canada needs a kick in the teeth. Kick in the teeth. And when I put this video up on last Saturday's show 5 days ago, I was kind of worried that may be too extreme. And then you got USA Today using it 4 or 5 days later. Look at that. Wow. Okay, so let's move on to what the meat and potatoes here. Trump administration email urges federal workers to take higher productivity jobs. Now, watch this part right here. Question. They asked a question in the email. Am I allowed to get a second job during the deferred resignation period? The message says, absolutely. We encourage you to find a job in the private sector. Yes. As soon as you will like to do so. The way to a greater America prosperity is encouraging people to move from lower productivity jobs in the public sector to higher productivity jobs in the private sector. The email continues. You see, this is very important, because that spells it out right there. As Trump administration gathers names and recent hires, some are being asked to justify their jobs. New federal workers are the easiest to fire, and the administration is gathering information on their names and backgrounds and roles and performance. So this is very, very, very important stuff. Why is this stuff very, very important? Because here in Canada, I've been asking this guy multiple questions. He's never replied to me. His name is Pierre Poilievre. He's the guy who's going to come and save Canada. Pierre Poilievre can't save you. Too much laundered money and massive public sector. WEF member. So we were warning you guys about this guy, and everyone in Canada thinks he's coming to save the day. You can go on content creators that started about a year or two ago with 250,000, 500,000 subscribers, and they're boasting this guy like he's the greatest thing, and they're dumping on Trudeau 24/7. But they're basically being pushed, and they're being asked to be pushed to the top. People that you never heard of before, people I've never even heard of before, are breaking the bank on YouTube. And that's about it. But Anyways, I wanted to put this together because it's very important that you guys understand how the public sector plays a big role in the destruction of our society. Yes, we need public servants driving ambulances, fighting fires, the important stuff, fixing the odd public sector engineer that goes out and fixes a road. We need those people. I'm not saying this. All I'm saying is here in Canada, it's very different. I spoke to someone that worked in the Parks and Recreation. They have 18 employees managing most of the parks in Vancouver, in the Vancouver region. I go, 18 people. That's not a lot of that's not a lot of people to maintain all these parks. The guy tells me, "Oh yeah, Mike, I know." I go, "So what? Why don't they just hire some more people just to help you guys out?" "Oh no, we have lots of people hired." "They're in HR! There's over 440 people in HR pushing pencils! Six-figure incomes! Pushing pencils! There's no such thing in Canada. There's no such thing as productive, like they said in that article there, productive private sector jobs. Because most of the people that are Canadian or of Canadian European origin won't get hired. Why won't they get hired? Because the Canadian government's paying subsidies to foreigners and paying subsidy wages to foreigners to come in and replace the Canadian proper. Over 50% of Canada from Victoria all the way to Prince Edward Island. Over 50% of employees that work in our banking system are Chinese nationals. Canadians don't want to work in a bank. Canadians don't want to work in banks. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to put this video up there just to update you guys on what's happening with the private sector versus the public sector. Hack all these public sector jobs. We got my town I'm in, of 8,000 people, 2 stoplights. Some people say there's 3, whatever. A majority of 80% is public sector. It's all government jobs. And the public sector here follow a creed. Trump is a racist. Donald Trump stole the election from Hillary Clinton. Jesus never existed. Muhammad preached peace. Biden's doing terrible because he's cleaning Trump's mess. So the creed that the public sector follows is narrative. It's narrated to them. Right? So that's they follow those guidelines. They follow the speaking structures. And that's why another reason why public sector is very dangerous at a point where it becomes toxic. 6-figure incomes, I know some people personally that have no idea what they're doing or what they were supposed to be doing to gain those 6-figure incomes. But in order to keep those 6-figure incomes, they need to... Trump's a racist. Biden is doing terrible because Trump made a big mess. Right? We could go on and on about this over and over and over about this like a broken record. But they follow that narrative too. The good disciples of the government. Anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Mike Martins here. I have spoken.